made it to the top of Khardungla, but let me share with you how we got there. The next morning, I woke up pretty early, walked around town, got some breakfast, and it wasn't until 10:30 everybody else got up and we went to get lunch around 11. And during lunch, we talked about what we needed to do so that we can get up to Khardungla the next day. One of which was that we have to rent a different bike because we can't use the bike that we have to go up to Khardungla. We have to use and rent a bike in Leh. So we rent a bike, we have to get our permits, and that's pretty much it for the day. Leh's a pretty small city, so after lunch, we walked around town and took care of the paperwork.
Yeah, and this morning I was able to get money exchange in the city. The rates were pretty good. And we're getting the permits to go up to the peak, and we'll sort out the bike rental, and we'll stay probably another extra day, another extra night after tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll go up to Khardungla, and then we'll come back, and then the day after we'll probably head out, heading back towards. We're gonna go to Kashmir, Srinagar, and then head back towards the Dehradun.
Tomorrow is also the last day that we're going to be hanging out with everybody, because Sam and Nasir are going to ride past Khardungla and then go to the other side to go to Spiti Valley. And then we're going to come back to town with Guy and Dustin. And the day after, we have to head back, and Guy and Dustin will continue on their adventure for another couple weeks. So we went out to dinner with Sam and Nasir and introduced us to our first chicken biryani. Now, I had chicken biryani before, just not in India and not with all the traditional spices. It was fantastic when we were eating it. And then afterwards, we went around town to walk around. And about 30 minutes in, me and Phaedon looked at each other. And both of us started racing back to the hotel bathroom. And that was how we ended that day. Next morning, we woke up earlier and got breakfast at around 8. We went back to the hotel and loaded our bikes with the essentials. And we head on our way.
I just finished packing my rental bike. I transferred the strap for the tank bag on there, and I bought these little flags, so I have the prayer flags in the photo when I get up to the top. Yeah, and I'm gonna strap the backpack to the back with all the water and shaba and extra gloves, and then we're gonna head up to the mountain, Khardungla Pass. It's only 41 kilometers, but it's mountain roads, so it should take 3 to 4 hours round trip. So we'll be back probably in the afternoon. All right. New bike, getting out of the complex. Everybody's packed. Nasir and Sam are going to leave today once we put up the high pass.
While we waited everyone to come out, there was just a caravan of cows coming down the road. The second we got on our way, I realized that the new rental bike that I'm riding is so much better than the bike that I was riding.
Dude, this bike is 1,000 times better. It feels so tight on the turns. It just feels tight in general. The shifting.
Soon after we left, we got to our first checkpoint.
This ticket?
Thank you. दिखा दे भाई को दिखा दे परमिट.
I could have teared it.
And in 700 meters, there was another checkpoint.
You guys have to show the stick to them. Again? Yeah.
First spot was the permit. This spot was identification.
It's good to put this all in one spot.
What a fucking joke.
This is fucking stupid.
100 yards later, bring all the papers out again.
They don't even have a freaking checkpoint thing. They're just standing in the corner over here in the shade, and then...
Luckily, after the first 2 checkpoints, we were able to continue our way up majority of the way until we hit the 3rd checkpoint at around 15,000 feet.
You have to write down our vehicle numbers. Vehicle numbers. You have to write down our vehicle numbers.
Write down what numbers?
Yeah. Let's Yeah, you have to go.
What numbers they want us to write down?
Please carry your permit as well. It does instructions are on. We were running.
After that, it was smooth sailing all the way to the top.
Khardungla, here we are.
We rode in and we stopped and parked at the first available spot. The first thing I noticed is that my hand and my face were both swollen. But nevertheless, we went to the lookout point, took some photos, and then me, Nasir, and Sam decided to walk up to where the prayer flags are.
We're hiking up this steep stairs to get to this temple, not temple. Oh, this is not gonna be worth it. I already know it.
It wasn't that far, it wasn't that steep, but at the elevation that we were at, it was a mission.
We're here.
Both of you.
They're hiking up to the peak. That's at least 18,000 feet. So,
Do that, you cross 80,000.
yeah.
You're going?
I don't know. Do I want to go up there and then die halfway up the mountain? Everybody else is doing it. Should I do it? Fuck.
He is a fucking beast. I'm happy for him.
I don't think I'm gonna do it. I'm already here. I'm a lazy. You guys gonna do it?
No. I'm pretty much sure that I'm not going to do that.
I'm not gonna do this.
If I'm going to do that, you guys need to have to stand here for 2 hours.
Look at these guys up there on the top. Yeah, I'm not climbing up there. I barely made it up the stairs to this. Holy shit, man.
A few moments later.
So, everybody hiked up to the top?
Yes.
Say hi, Sam.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Sama.
Hey. And now we're heading back down. It was a tough hike. It wasn't many steps, but at 18,000 feet, we're like half dead, taking like 20 steps up to this thing.
As you can see, we all made it to the top, including Shava. It's not really a trail coming up to the top, this is just rock crawling. As soon as we came down from the peak, we said our goodbyes to Nasir and Sam, and me, Dustin, and Guy and Phaedon rode back down the same way we came up. This was our first detour. It actually didn't lead anywhere. We just rode all the way to the front, and turning around was a bit tricky, but we got some good photos from it. Soon after, we found another detour. The second detour was much more exciting. Not only was the entry point much more technical, but when we got to the top, there was people living there. And the peak was very narrow.
Yeah, this is kind of sketchy as fuck, dude.
We rode in the remainder of the way, and to my surprise, there was a pathway that leads all the way to the mountains. And we kind of rode all the way up to the mountains and then basically stopped. There was no more path. After we took some photos, we rode back out to the way we came in. Our final pit stop before heading back into town and calling a day is Leh Temple. The road to Leh Temple is very beautifully done. You get to see the entire city off of the mountainside edge. and you get this panoramic view all the way wrapping around all the way to the temple. Once we arrived at the temple, we realized there was more hiking.
So we are hiking up this Lay temple after coming down for Khardungla, and and, and I'm dead. It's locked. You can't even go in. Why do we even bother coming up here? Fuck. Yeah, this is where the temple is. Can't see the Buddha. Yeah, but yeah, now we're in the sun baking and can't go anywhere. Back down we go.
This is us completely exhausted before we head back into town. Once we got back into town, we had to return our rental bikes that we got from Leh. I really didn't want to return mine because this was the best bike that I gotten so far. But of course, we returned the bikes, put all my gear back onto my old bike, and by around 7:30 we went out to have our final meal with Dustin and Guy. Tomorrow, me and Phaedon make our way back to Dehradun. Now, if we're lucky and we make good time, we might even be able to see the Taj Mahal.